welcome to the Board Game Network. We are going to play this game called Once Upon a Time. It's a storytelling game. And we have here, introduce yourself.
Abby.
I'm James.
Toby.
Rose.
Okay, let's just get into it. If you want to know how to play, I've got a different how to play video out there. So I am going to start. Once upon a time, there was a witch. And that witch made a spell that was on a young man, and he caused him to love a frog. So this young man went on a trip and made a journey in search of his true love. However, it's obvious that while he was on his journey, he met this giant, and so the giant was really a wicked giant, and so he wanted the young lad to fail in his journey to find his true love. And so he led him down the wrong path to seek out his frog, and the nobody has any interrupts apparently. So the lad found a oh, so I have to draw. Okay. Sit up. Okay.
So the lad found a ring. And this ring was cursed, and it made him forget all about his journey to find his true love, the frog. So at this point he was completely lost because he was so set on finding his love that he forgot what he was doing. So time passes, and he spent that time wandering around. I don't know. My heart's breaking.
You have to make your story around your cards.
I know.
So they become good.
I know. This is hard though.
You haven't played for a while.
I know. That's the problem. I don't know. Pass.
Draw. It's going over there. Take over that story.
As time passed, he found a brother. The brother was very confused and frightened about why this man was wandering around. While trying to figure out his memory, the foolish lad ran into pass. Thank you.
Okay, the foolish lad ran into a princess
Okay, I'm taking over that part. Ran into a princess, and the lad became so enamored with the princess. They went. The princess invited him to dinner at the palace, and showed him the garden at the palace, and at that garden was the frog that he had been looking for. And that frog was very rude and belligerent, and that frog could talk. But he looked at the princess, and true love had broken the enchantment.
Okay. Once upon a time there was a queen. And this queen was very powerful. But she was also in love with a servant boy. But the servant boy thought that was kind of ridiculous. It's like, I'm not getting involved in that. One day, the queen was walking around the palace, and she found a ring. And she was like, well, this is beautiful. I don't know where it came from, but, it should be mine. Obviously, I'm the queen. So she put on the ring, and the ring, of course, was cursed.
Of course.
Of course. I mean, you can't have a ring that's not cursed.
Not in a fairy tale, no.
And due to this cursed ring, the queen turned into a horse.
Okay.
The horse was very distressed, obviously, because, it was a queen and nobody believed it, because, horses can't talk. And so the horse got kicked out of the palace. Well, the rest of the kingdom was very distraught because, the queen was missing. But the horse had to find her own way now that she was not the queen. So eventually she made her way to a cottage. This cottage happened to be the very cottage where...
Okay, I'm interrupting. Oh man, you didn't want the story anyway. She found her way to the cottage. And at the cottage, she found the spell that had been cast on the ring. The witch that was there had cast a spell on the ring that was cursed, and the witch saw that she had the ring on, so the witch stole the ring back from the horse. I'm not really sure where the ring was at this point, but the witch got it back from the queen / horse, and
The horse queen.
As the witch did not want the horse any longer in her cottage, she kicked the horse out, and the horse was going through the pasture and found another horse and fell in love. So I'm
going to interrupt.
okay.
So the two horses went down this road that led them back to the kingdom that the horse queen was from. And she thought, you know what? It's okay to be a horse and a queen. I'm going to take it over again. I'm going to take my kingdom back. But first, she had to find a magical cauldron so that she could make this potion that would turn everyone else in the kingdom into a horse as well. But see, the problem was she wasn't a very good cook, and she ruined the potion. And the potion actually ended up turning her into a wolf. And so here we have a wolf and a horse, and well, that's just weird love. So her horse boyfriend left her, and very sad and distraught, she decided that she would return to the place that she had to the cottage that she had been to get some help, but there was nobody there, and she was very lost and confused and didn't really know what to do because she was just a horse or a wolf, previous horse, previous queen.
A queen wolf horse.
She's
wolf.
been through a lot of trauma and didn't know what to do next. And so she passed the story on to someone else.
Is that a pass? Worked right into the story. Okay, well, over time passed, and the horse that left and the wolf that didn't leave and the confusing story that ensued. The horse, the wolf went in search of the witch who had the ring, who he thought could probably get her back to being the queen. And he eventually found her after he searched long and hard. He searched day and he searched night, and he found her back at her cottage at night. But she wanted to be turned back into the queen, but the witch refused, and sent her far away so that she could not have her true love, the other horse. And so her wound was healed, but her heart remained broken forever. It says his, but I converted that to hers.
I mean, she was a wolf, a horse, a queen. She could have been a guy too. Who knows? I wasn't sure if you could play an interrupt as just a regular card, but that's all
You
I
can,
had.
if you have
Interrupt.
key, yes.
Yeah.
You can play it
Yeah.
as this word here,
That's what I thought.
or you can play it as the
That's the
interrupt.
actual interrupt.
So yeah, so you
Yeah.
can. Otherwise, you'd be
Focused on
stuck.
the interrupts, aren't you?
I keep getting interrupts.
Well, you should be taking the story then.
I'm trying to, but you're not playing the right card.
Yeah.
I know, right?
You could have done a lot of stuff. That moment when you get a card that was good for the last one.
Yeah, right?
I should have had this last one.
Once upon a time, there lived a giant. And of course, as all giants go, it was unfortunately rather ugly. He lived in a very forgotten castle where he took over, which he had taken over from a dragon. Now, of course, the battle was very bloody, very nonchalant, and that's all I can really do.
Okay, well.
Now that you have the story,
So, the giant had this tree, And the tree was actually quite magical, as things tend to go. And the tree had this power that it could very quickly make fruit. And the fruit had the power to grant you luck. And so, of course, the giant was very lucky. That's how he had won his ruins from the dragon. Quite the catch, living in ruins. But thankfully, amongst his ruins, he did have a set of stairs. And the stairs weren't ruined. They actually led up to a singular room. That was pretty much all that was left. And the room held his magical crown that did nothing but shine magically, of course.
Obviously.
But he didn't put it on his head to use it like a hat. He actually used it so that he could peel his fruit, so that he could remain lucky and not have to go anywhere and just stay at home and chill. But this one day, this baby dragon, who just so happened to be the daughter of the dragon that he had previously destroyed,
Suspense.
came and tried to take her father's ruins back from the lucky ugly giant. And so they battled. But the dragon baby had found the magical fruit and had at long last been able to take the ruins back from the giant. The giant had all these cuts and scars from the battle, and he didn't know what to do because he couldn't get his fruit back from the baby dragon. So he went far away and found a magical person who just so happened to have the powers to heal. So he got healed, and he came back for round 2 with the dragon and beat the dragon up and took back his ruins. And so the rightful ruler was placed on the throne once more.
Ooh. Why you just like take over that story?
Once upon a time, there was a stepmother
Ooh, it's already starting good.
who wasn't evil. She was actually quite nice. Thank you very much.
Oh.
But she had a pet monster, and he was evil. And this monster's favorite thing to do at night was to attack the neighboring villages. And one night he went to one of the villages and he attacked every other house because he likes even numbers. And unfortunately, in his newest raid, someone was indeed hurt. And the villagers were very upset about this because, I mean, they like even numbers too, and they don't want to have to build odd number houses just so they don't get attacked. But they didn't really know what to do. So
all houses are on one side of the street.
But one of the villagers had this idea, right? So he would go and face this monster disguised as another monster, and they would talk it out because, that always works, right? So they went to have a discussion with this monster, and then, they didn't really think, this monster probably has some other language, right?
I'm gonna interrupt you with that. And even though he was disguised as another monster, he did try to do everything that he could to make his costume beautiful, because, who doesn't like a beautiful monster? Well, instead of everything working out, they wound up doing nothing but argue. This arguing led to them winding up going to a well. Of course, they need to get something to drink. After that, the stepmother came out and was distraught, trying to figure out where she had placed her ring. Well, the two monsters, the one that was disguised and the actual monster, decided to spend the night to go and rest, to get some sleep. And when they woke up in the morning, they went to the forest and searched throughout the forest.
I'm gonna interrupt. In the forest, they found an abandoned sword. This sword was very shiny and flashy, and by the sword they also found some abandoned clothes. So when the first real monster wasn't looking, the other monster, to get away from this argument with the first monster, quickly changed clothes and
Ooh.
grabbed the sword and cut off the monster's head.
Oh.
Okay.
So after that, the real guy obviously went back to their village, happy that they would no longer be attacked by the monster. Well, of course, the stepmother was kind of upset that, you know, their monster was killed. So the stepmother went to the wall of the guy's house and climbed over it to get in there and kill the guy who killed her favorite monster. So once she got into the wall, she climbed in the window, and she couldn't find the guy though, because somehow the guy had gone to the nearest kingdom instead of coming back home because he was scared of the stepmother. Well, the stepmother went back to her house and looked in her magic cauldron and found out that the
Her what? Her magic cauldron? I don't even want this story. But that was just too good. This is confusing. So the I don't even know what's going on, man.
Stepmother.
The stepmother, the monster took off, right? The monster that killed the other monster took off.
The real guy.
The
It's not
real
a
guy.
monster.
No. And the stepmother was at the kingdom there and found a book on the shelf and was looking through it for where might this other guy be that she was in search of. And so she found a map in there and where he might have gone. And she took off to locate the guy. And however, it was storming horribly and she got lost as she was in search of this guy. And eventually she found the right direction to get to him. And even though she was not an evil stepmother, she had bitterness in her heart. So he was actually in the dungeon of the castle that she found him in, and he was down there hiding as and she went to him. She had the sword, and she was gonna kill him. So she opened the door to the dungeon there and found him as he was walking around in the basement in the dungeon. And it turns out that the guy was blind from an accident, and so she forgave him and they were married.
What? Yeah, I don't know about that one.
What?
Hey,
That was perfect.
When kingdoms are having problems with each other, they usually just like, you know what? We have kids. You have kids. Let's marry them. Problem solved. This is just smaller scale.
Yeah.
I did have creative license on that ending too. Yeah. Said he forgave her.